What up, everybody? It's Paul Daddy Simone Rage. If you haven't looked at the title, we're here to talk about Colin Kaepernick and his new docuseries on his take. And everyone who knew me always are dumbfounded a lot by my point of view and take on things, like I've discussed before. If you don't already know the kind of stance that I take, I generally don't care about your past or your present or where your future lies. I can agree to disagree and still get along plenty fine with people. Um, I try not to let our disagreement interfere with our friendship or our family bond. Just because I'm not always going to like what you like, you're not always going to like what I like, but I don't let that interfere with the type of relationship I have with you. And a lot of people that, when Colin Kaepernick first took his stance about being more black, um, I don't care. I didn't care that he knelt. I don't care. I just cared that he was a 49er who did amazing things for us as a 49er. I don't care if he knelt. I don't care if he was praising Allah. I don't care if he's the son of God. Um, I didn't let those things bother me. Um, so I supported his belief because this is America. You can have different beliefs from my belief. Um, the things that would bother me are not the things that would prevent my eyes from seeing you perform. So people were always saying, just play football, you get paid millions of dollars, whatever. But I actually want to talk more about his stance about on his docuseries that I found literally disgusting. Because where I worked, I actually had a conversation with a good friend of mine who was black, and he fully supported Colin Kaepernick's stance. And he asked me a very interesting question. He asked me, would I kneel? And I said, yes and no. And he goes, what do you mean yes and no? You wouldn't kneel? Like, you don't support the cause? I says, you know what? It's not about supporting the cause for me, because I can support the cause in many ways. The thing is he's playing with my money at the NFL. Do you quit your job because your boss is a dick? No, you're there for the money. You're there to perform. You're there to do your job. But being on a team is about camaraderie, right? Camaraderie, is that how you say it? It's about being a team player, team effort, team this, one band, one sound. It's about that, So if all the team and the captains decide, hey, you guys, would you mind if we knelt? And if we all agreed, I'd kneel. But then if my coach came out and says, look, if any of you guys kneel,
you're fired.
Well, I would consider that. And then I would consider my family. But guess what? Don't give me this crap, Colin Kaepernick, about slavery in the NFL. Because you've been playing football all your life to get there.
Since the day I was born, my passion, my love was being a quarterback.
That's where you want to get to in the NFL, is the NFL. That's where you want to get to when you play football, is to the NFL. Because you've been playing from Little League to high school, where there is no money. The point of playing in high school is to get to a good college. And to get to a good college, and if you want to go pro, you want to go to a college that has NFL, what do you call them? Scouts. Looking, watching. That's why you bust your butt in the gym. That's why you show your showmanship in college. Why you try to stand out. That's why you lift heavy. That's why you run hard. That's why you practice hard. That's why you stand out. So don't give me this crap about the NFL slavery. Let me pull it up here. The worst payment on an NFL roster. Let me pull it up. I'll put it up right here and show you. Okay, let me just show you. Maybe in the 50. So my conversation with my friend was, what kind of, his thing to me was, what kind of message am I sending to our kids if I don't stand up for what we believe, or a belief, or the cause? And I looked at him and I said, you know what? I get it. But when I played football, I didn't think about college. I didn't think about the NFL. And I wish I would have. Because what's the point of just playing? When you're good and you're talented, you want to go to college. You want to perform there. You want to make it to the NFL. I wish I would have thought more about making it to the NFL. But I was so sick of school. And so when he asked me, what kind of message are we sending to our kids? I said, bro, I get it, man. How long you been working here? Almost 20 years. Why? We know the politics here drives us nuts. If they didn't pay us well enough, we would have quit a long time ago. But we're still here. That's the whole point of football for people like us, is we wanted to make it.
Geneva Towers turned into public housing. Over the years, as the owners failed to maintain the property, the complex fell apart. At the same time, it became popular turf for rival gangs and drug dealers. The crime and housing conditions got so bad, the federal government took it over in 1991. Despite its troubled past, some say this is the only home they've ever known, which makes today's...
Oh, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to this neighborhood.
Even though it's being torn down, it's the beginning of a new day.
We wanted to get out of the ghetto. We wanted to stop living in the projects where we always had to look over our shoulder. Well, look, there's 32 teams. 32 teams in the NFL. That needs 52 to 53 people. You don't even care. When you get invited to the NFL Combine, you're just so excited that you get the chance to maybe get picked by someone. And you go out there and you bust your ass to show off and show up and show how strong you are and show how fast you are and show how much hops you have. So when you compare NFL to slavery, man, you're a fool, man. And anyone that agrees to that document, you're a fool too, because the NFL provides 32 teams with 53 people that are about to have a six-figure income. And all they have to, and as hard as it might be, it's not as hard as knowing you don't make enough to help your family live. You know, every day you're busting your butt. Well, in the NFL, if you can at least make it for a few years, you've done well, much better than anyone that has lived and studied and are educated for the last 15 years of their life, that they're finally making your first paycheck you got, your signing bonus you got. So don't tell me the NFL is, don't ever compare the NFL to slavery, because we've been playing football our whole life and they're about to pay us a six-figure income or more, depending on how long you can last, or sometimes you make that seven-figure income if you're the top 10. And for 4 years of your life, you've made more than any of us have made for the first 15 years of our life working for the average person, or trying to get there, or paying so much for education so that we can get our foot in the door of the college degree that we've been working so hard, that we've paid for, to just get our foot into the door, to be an intern somewhere, to study somewhere even more, and then finally with 5 years into that field, maybe we'll earn at least $80,000 a year. And that's a good living. It is. But we spent from the year of 18 years old going to college to 25 years of our life to maybe by the age of 35, if we're lucky, or 40, that we can make 60 plus grand a year. And if we're lucky, hopefully we can even reach 85 grand a year. And that's probably a combined income. You see, So don't tell me don't compare NFL to slavery to me. Because even being on the practice squad, if you're lucky, you would have made a year's time of worth on the practice squad than you would ever make 5 years in the real world of working in a corporate place. And I'm grateful for the job I have because I don't know where I can go and do what I could have done for the last 14 years of my life and make what I make if I could have at least thought more better about my future. But once you don't get into sports, it's hard. It's hard. And in a way it's worth it. And in a way it's frustrating because the real world sucks. And I'm more enslaved to the corporate world than you are enslaved by making millions of dollars. And all you have to do is last at least 5 years. And you would have made enough money to live the life we've had for 15 years. Of every day, 40 to 70 hours a week of a job or schooling to get a good job, a decent job. And then you have to quit and look for a different job. And then you got to move because you got to move where the money is. Your docuseries is foolish, Colin Kaepernick. I'll support anyone that's just trying to make money and whatever. But when you make that stance, you as a person, I don't know. It's whatever. But that docuseries and what you compare that to, if that's your complete mindset of what you think of the NFL and what it does for the families of people, you're an idiot. And I don't support that. Anything else, I'll support that. Schooling for urban areas. Schooling for us who came from the projects and still live there. Better education, better things, better living, better teaching. I never understood why I had to always watch my back. But I guess when you're poor and you have your back against the wall, you got to do what you got to do. I'm actually so glad that people from the project are changing their mentality, but it doesn't have to be that way, man. Why rep your city so hard like that and realize that you have to kill to protect it? We can't get along. But you're so stuck on this gangster mentality that I got to take what's mine. I got to take it. Those are my thoughts on the Colin Kaepernick thing and his docuseries. If you support it, hey, that's on you. But my looking on that NFL's slavery, then why do we play football so hard? Why do we train so hard? Why do we want it as a profession? Because if we make it to the NFL, if you make it to the NFL, you're one step close of being better financially. And if you can budget your money better, then you're going to have a better life than us. I've never met an NFL person that did well with their money that isn't happy. They have a better life because now they have the money to figure out what they want for life, what they want to do in life. An average Joe like myself and millions of others, we don't always get to do what we dream because we got to keep supporting our families. We got to keep living. We got to pay for the roof overhead. That's just the way it is. I wish it wasn't like that, and I know we can change that. But it's hard to change things when now bills set in, family set in, kids set in, school sets in, the kids' future sets in. That's when life becomes harder. So what are you willing to sacrifice so that our kids can live better than we did? That's the point of the NFL. Is once you make it to the NFL, at least financially, you don't have to worry about your kids' future. You just have to worry about their upbringing. Peace. Hey, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Love y'all.